Why is there something wrong with it? One viewer. We've got one viewer. I don't know. People should come and view. So quite a lot of things are happening. I'm not sure why that is happening today. I can't broadcast. I can't do anything. I've tried to broadcast from a YouTube account and from my Facebook account, but I don't know why I can't broadcast. Anyway, but let me talk about a unified MDC. That events you guys have seen or have watched events that were happening um, a few weeks ago or a week ago. MDC youth, MDC people from all walks of life, they felt that we have surrendered our part, MDC, to Douglas Monzora. Douglas Monzora is just an elected member of YouTube is the way to go. Right, Atete Julie. I'm on YouTube right now. If anyone is here, please can you share the link of this to my different accounts because I think YouTube is the only way to go now, as Facebook has barred me from streamlining or live streaming on Facebook. Anyway, let me talk about a unified MDC. Events that you have seen happening for the past week, where MDC youth are sick and tired of being used by certain individuals. People who go there, pay people, say, you follow me, you do this and that. We have supported a lot of MDC cadres. Bwanja Mfumu, Bwino Wanjinu, thank you so much for sharing this. Let's invite people. Let's share this video. Invite a lot of people so that we stream live from the YouTube account. So we leave the Facebook thing. Then we try the YouTube account from today onwards, where we're going to talk or everything or things that are happening in the MDC. At this juncture, a few days ago or a week ago, you also the people of Zimbabwe, especially the youth, coming together to say, look, why did MDC surrender the part? Why did people surrender MDC to one person? Right. We all know the events that occurred after President Richard Morgan Tsvangirai passed away. What happened is when President Morgan Tsvangirai died, he had 3 deputy presidents, and any of the 3 had an equal opportunity to become leader of the party. Right. So when President Tsvangirai went to South Africa, where he eventually passed on, he left Elias Mzuri as an acting president of the party. Reasons were best known to President Morgan Tsvangirai. The other deputy president, 𝗨হি𝗶𝘁𝗶, she was no longer attending party meetings or party business at Morgan Richard Tsvangirai house. Reasons best known to her. Rumors say she didn't like the idea of an alliance, to say let's have an alliance, let's have one presidential candidate or the political parties, so that if we come together as an alliance and take head on ZANU-PF, we are going to defeat ZANU-PF. Then if we defeat ZANU-PF, we form a government of alliance that will give opportunity to the people of Zimbabwe to do electoral reforms, all the reforms that were demanded by the international community, and have those targeted sanctions scrapped. This was the idea Morgan Tsvangirai had. Morgan Tsvangirai had an idea of a Zimbabwe that will accommodate every Zimbabwean. But unfortunately, ZANU-PF refused to be part of the alliance. And she even went to the extent of switching off Richard Morgan Tsvangirai from, or deleting Tsvangirai from her conducts. And she never conducted Tsvangirai. When Tsvangirai eventually found Kupe, Kupe refused to come to the MDC head office and chose to meet Tsvangirai at a neutral venue. So a vice president was now dictating to say, look, was putting conditions to say if her boss wants to meet her, then it has to be at a neutral venue. And Tsvangirai had no business to discuss at a neutral venue with the ZANU-PF. But Tsvangirai was busy during that time building a big tent where he will accommodate people from different political parties. I want you to really understand this. MDC as a political party, it does not choose. MDC does not choose supporters. If anyone wants to leave ZANU-PF and support MDC, that will be a best idea. MDC does not choose supporters. To say, you support me, we don't want you. In MDC, we don't sack people, because what we do, MDC is a democratic party. Being a democratic party, it survives on elections. Elections are held every 5 years in our country, and every person goes to vote. So what happens is, if you sack people from the party, who's going to vote for you? MDC is not a political party that is contented only by being an opposition. It is a government in waiting, a party that attracts voters to say, yes, they've got sound policies. They've got sound policies. And people will go and vote MDC. Right. So every official in MDC who was elected at a Congress has got a duty to play. MDC does not belong to one person. It belongs to the people of Zimbabwe, and those people are being led by a National Standing Committee, which is elected at a Congress, where a president is elected, vice president is elected, secretary is elected, organizing secretary is elected, treasurer is elected, and a lot information, this and that, a lot of portfolios are elected at a Congress. So events that occurred soon after President Richard Morgan Tsvangirai died were events that required a Congress. But inside MDC constitution, there is a clause which is there, which stipulates that in the event of an event arising that requires Congress, National Council can act, because it is an organ which can act on issues that require Congress between the Congresses. Right? As we all understand, when President Morgan Richard Tsvangirai died, his deputy, ZANU-PF, was in South Africa. His other deputy, 𝗨ih 𝗶𝘶𝗀, was in South Africa. Richard Tsvangirai went to South Africa to seek medication and died there. So it means the president, MDC president, was in South Africa. His two deputies were in South Africa. And for me, or for us to think Kupe and Mzuru were in South Africa, on what business were they in South Africa? What were they doing in South Africa? Both of them. So as a result, there was only one vice president who was left in the country, who is none other than Nelson Chamisa. So when Chamisa was in Zimbabwe, news broke that our president, Richard Morgan Tsvangirai, had passed on in 2018, February. After Mdara Tsvangirai died, Chamisa assumed the presidency because he was the only vice president in the country at that time. You cannot be an acting vice president if you are outside the country. So Chamisa automatically assumed the office of president because there was no one else to assume that president at that juncture. Then, when we went to bury President Morgan Tsvangirai, we also what happened in Buhera, where Madam Kupe came with the Douglas Monsora, and they caused commotion at the funeral. They were guarded by police from their vehicles to the podium, and they met with the youth who demanded to know why Kupe was now surfacing at Tsvangirai's funeral. But when Tsvangirai was ailing, setting up alliance, Kupe was nowhere to be seen. Kupe akanga shawanike. Vatsvangirai vachimutsvaga kuti auda kuita isa super chat. I'm not sure what is super chat. This is my first time to some messages such as potential spam, live or hide messages. I'm not sure about super chat because I am just starting using this thing now. I haven't used it since I installed it, but it's a super chat. Next video, I think I'll put a super chat here. But this is my first time to use YouTube because I've tried today to go on Facebook. Unfortunately, Facebook has been cutting me off, deleting my presentation. So luckily, I've got a YouTube account that I can use. But let me continue. Next time I'll try to put, I don't know how to do it. So next time I'll try to play around with it. Twist a super chat. So what I've been saying here is, Kupe was in South Africa, Muzuri was in South Africa, President Tsvangirai had died in South Africa, and only President Chamisa was available. So he automatically assumed the role of a president, and he led the procession. He led the funeral. He took President Tsvangirai kwenda navo kubuyera. President Tsvangirai went kubuyera. Kwakanosvika kukaita drama kubuyera. What I want people to understand, there was drama in Buyera caused by Kupe and Douglas Monsora. They went there, then they claimed the youth wanted to beat them up, then youth wanted to burn them inside a hut, they had to take refuge in a hut. A lot of drama occurred at President Tsvangirai's funeral until the police intervened. Even the acting president during that time, Nelson Chamisa, intervened. What is commotion for? We are at a funeral. We want to bury our icon. This is when calm eventually realized. And there was Sheikh Mkoi, who went to address the youth as well. kuti kana ngatinyarei president Chamisa wamba dia wamba. And the video is there when Sheikh Mkoi was calming the youth who were not happy about ZANU-PF's presence at Chamisa's funeral, at Tsvangirai's funeral. Funeral yakaitwa ikapera, and then we went back to business. We continued with the alliance, and the alliance agreed, or the alliance selected or voted for President Chamisa to be head of, or to be the president of alliance to complete whatever President Tsvangirai was building. This is how eventually Chamisa became at the helm. So to those people vanenge vachiti Chamisa akabvuta masimba, Chamisa haana kubvuta masimba. Hapana aive nemasimba acho aivepo ipapo when President Richard Tsvangirai died. And when Alliance went to choose a leader, they chose someone with the capability of winning an election. They did not choose one because angari president MDC or the likes, but they chose a capable leader. Munhu aikwanisa kuwina an election, a charismatic leader. Then this is when President Nelson Chamisa came into being. So I'm dismissing allegations that Chamisa akabvuta ma powers. So I always ask people, akabvutirwa ma powers na Chamisa ndiani? Who was the president? Like kuti Chamisa akatorera vatsvangirai ma powers, akabvutira vatsvangirai ma powers. Yes, we're going to say Chamisa akabvutira vatsvangirai ma powers. But when Tsvangirai died, panga pasara pasina president. Presidential office was now vacant. And Chamisa did not snatch that vacant place. But when my procedures akaitwa ne National Council, the party knows MDC in my organs are now. And those organs sat down, agreed that we are going to have so and so to continue on a temporary basis. And Chamisa was given a year and to lead us into an election. Some people were not happy about it. Some people within MDC started associating themselves with ZANU-PF, vachituka, vachitaura kuti, hey, Chamisa is a toddler, Chamisa is a baby, Chamisa is that, is this. So I was one day reading the history of ZANU-PF. After war, when we went for an election, most of the people who went into ZANU-PF cabinet, the youngest was about 23. The youngest was about 23 years old. And so I'm looking at someone who went into parliament at 23 years old. And the Chamisa who is challenging the presidential seat at 40 or 41 years old. And some people say a 41-year-old is a baby. And you begin to wonder what type of a country we live in Zimbabwe and what type of people reside in Zimbabwe. When you look at a 41-year-old man and say he's a baby. So a lot of things were said because they were being said by people who were disgruntled in the party. There were people disgruntled in the MDC. The problem is they don't know that it's not about age. It's about leadership qualities. It's about capabilities. People were looking at a right candidate who will win an election. They were not looking at age. Dzirimo chembere MDC. Tena mdara femai, tena mdara makore, tena mdara mzuri. Ava ichemberets. Ichembere. And imurgona ichembere dzirimo MDC. Zekuti if we wanted age, taichuza wana mzuri. If we wanted chembere, taitora wana mdara makore, shumba. But it was not about chembere. It was about capability and ability. So people looked at ZANU-PF. And the Chamisa became a candidate yekuti vanhu vese vakati uyu ndiye watoda. Vana Welshmen came and even confessed in front of the world kuti mudhara Tsvangirai vakasiya vataura kuti I was grooming this young man. Pandakaappointa Chamisa, saka ndakamuisa wana Mutsuri. Aim was to make sure Chamisa becomes the next president of Zimbabwe. Because MDC is a generational part. It's not one generation part, but it's a multi-generation part. Yekuti vana Shepherd tikabuda kune generation iri kutevera inofanira kupinda. President hafanira kuramba ari chidhara chinodonzva chekuti kana kunogeza chakuda kudzirwa nendove kunogeswa zvazvaitwa Mugabe. You understand? So what I'm saying here is Chamisa, eventually the alliance settled on Nelson Chamisa. Even though it was not about Chembere Idzodzo, it was about capability. So the alliance settled on President Nelson Chamisa. Everybody was happy to go with Chamisa as our presidential candidate in 2018 election. And maslogan akagadzirwa MDC alliance ikaenda kanoregistra. Surprisingly, if we look at what transpired during that time, Vanakomich, they are on record agreeing that the presidential candidate that has been chosen by the alliance is President Chamisa, and we are all going to support President Chamisa. Douglas Monzora, he went on to agree that yes, we have got videos, there is evidence. Douglas Monzora addressing a rally, agreeing that, look, the presidential candidate that we have all agreed is President Nelson Chamisa. So 28 election June, tukenda nani na Chamisa. And tese takati vatato uzwa tiri kunze kwenyika. Kunze, guys, let's support President Nelson Chamisa. Let's rally behind Nelson Chamisa, mobilize for Nelson Chamisa. And inakurara, nasikarare during election. I was busy mobilizing people. This is when I became a bit popular. People want to come here to listen what is Shepherd saying, what's good about MDC Alliance, what's good about a youthful leader, a lot of things. I went through weeks and weeks, months and months campaigning on social media. Some people were campaigning on the ground. Because social media, we access those people under the house, but they want to hear kuti kana makunovhota mukunovhotera ani, emblem yeMDC achinenge yakamira sei, pamukasvika paballot Chamisa wacho anenge ari papi, muchanoisa X wenyu panani, ko kuma MP muchanovhoterani, ko kuna councillors muchavhoterani. So that was our duty on social media, to make sure that we reach all four corners of the world. And we did reach the four corners of the world. Chamisa came up, he roamed to victory. But unfortunately, ZANU-PF survives on rigging. Aina election since 2000, yaka wina fair ZANU-PF. Right. So everything takaita zvikapera. Taita zvapera. One munhu zvakangofila ukugokwe. I don't think it's Mashavira who did that. It was Douglas Monzora who did a court challenge iyoyo in collaboration with Maduku na anonzani uyo George Charamba weZANU-PF nana uriri nemalawyers eZANU. So they were looking at loopholes in MDC constitution. They were looking at loopholes dzekuti vaone kuti vakaona one chinhu chakarwadza Mnangagwa ndechekuti akadyiwa naChamisa, and Chamisa ipapo ainzi mwana mudiki, a youthful leader, 40 years old leader, defeating a 76-year-old political veteran. E.D. Mnangagwa was shocked with the results. The world was shocked with the results. What Chamisa pulled shocked E.D. Mnangagwa, shocked ZANU-PF, to the extent that vakatanga kufunga kuti okay, let's destroy Chamisa. It's not that they want to destroy the alliance, but they want to destroy Chamisa in person. They are even getting to the extent of want to arrest Chamisa and hang him, accusing him of he has committed this, he has committed that. Recently, Makanzo MDC alliance, they want to wage a war against ZANU-PF, which is not true. It's a way, it's an excuse, same excuse that was used in Matebele and with Joshua Nkomo, angane pfuti dzakama amsketch abatwa, avene pfuti angachogadzira hondo, and they went on to kill innocent Ndebele people. So this is the repeat of the Gukura wound that they are trying to do. But MDC alliance in a pfuti, because they know that MDC alliance defeated the ZANU-PF. And a lot of people did not vote. If all the people who are eligible to vote voted, so the issue they underestimated or underrated Chamisa because they thought he's a baby. And eventually that baby overcame obstacles and defeated the ZANU-PF. So that defeat did not go well with the ZANU-PF. The ZANU-PF has now looked for a willing tool in form of Douglas Monzor. And they are trying to create like what they do in China. These are communists. They're trying to create an opposition that will remain opposition for life. An opposition that has got no hopes of running a country or hopes of winning an election. This is the opposition that ZANU-PF is trying to create through Douglas Monzora. They've become a willing tool. We all saw what happened. Soon after elections, ZANU-PF formed organization called 𝗨 𝗨 my political actors ese. So isusu as MDC takati alliance takati we are not political actors. We are a genuine political party. We want to rule the country. But those who are just acting my political actors akadasana mukadota akadasana parafini who feel like they were just political actors who had nothing, who were not serious about defeating ZANU-PF. They went to join that Poland. We refused to join Poland. And I even texted President Chamisa with Mdara uko kwa kuendwo. And the problem, President Chamisa is a wise man. That man has got wisdom. He saw a big man like Morgan Tsvangirai going down the grave through a cup of tea. Akataura vachamisa kandaitsura Mdara musamati. Vanhu ava havasi hama dzedu ava. These people are devils. And they are not happy that you are defeating them every election. And they are accusing you kuti Mdara ndo wakaunza ma-sanctions. But Mdara makumwatini vanhu ava. Vanhu vanotiuraya ava. Ngatingosvika pa event iripo tongoita zve-event tobva toenda vakati invite. Andimaona. But President Tsvangirai hapana asingavazivi. Mdara vaiti chavanoda kuita vanoita ichocho. I know him. Anga asiri munhu wekuti you need to defeat him. Aive munhu wekuti maitoenda pa-negotiating table naMdara kuti muwirirane kuti Mdara alright ngatiitei zvakati. Kwete zvokuenda kwaari uno Mdara usaite zvakati. He felt defeated nema-ideas. Saka Mdara aida kuramba ari afloat with ideas. And aive wise Mdara wayo. Anga ne-wisdom yaityisa Tsvangirai. So as a result, we lost Mdara Tsvangirai. Now ZANU-PF is fighting to create an opposition, a permanent opposition in our country, which has got no powers or which has got no prospects of winning an election. So by doing so, they found willing tools in the form of Thokozani Kupe. They found willing tools in the form of Douglas Monzora. And they called Thokozani to join Poland. And Douglas Monzora, they managed to con him because hapana singazive Monzora imbava. Monzora unoda mari. That guy is a thief. A certified thief. Was even once arrested for forging High Court or Supreme High Court documents. Once arraigned before courts for abusing trust funds. Mari dzema clients vanonga vachibhenga nemalawyers kuti ndakuzotenga imba kana ndakuzovaka imba. Ndakazasi Monzora akapuza mari dzese idzodzo. So Monzora is a criminal. He's someone that people should not trust. Right. So what happened now is Taliga Tsvangirai tapinda election. Monzora amanya kuesaudza ma structures, amanya audza marari. President wedu ndicho vachamisa takaita sei pedzezvo vari kuita izvozvo. Mukada kuona Class Monzora is an enemy to the people of Zimbabwe. Whilst he was doing that with President Chamisa, he was going to ZANU-PF. Vachinotaura nana Madhuku, nana Paul Mangwana, nana avanonza chonza nechekuuraya mukadzi chetsvina chisingachi George Charamba chati. Vakaenda vakacreata chimunhu chavo chinonzi Mashavira, vachiita some loopholes in our constitution. Then they challenged appointment ya President Chamisa kuti Tsvangirai akazoappointa Chamisa why. Then you know majaji atinawo. Majaji atinawo isusu haasi majaji ekuti mungatogara pasi mimi muchitaura kuti tiri kuenda kunowana justice kucourt. No, vakatosiyana. Majaji atinawo isusu ma-political judges. If you look at ma-political judges atinawo, most of them were members of the army. Vana Judge Chweshe, vana Bunu, war veterans. Most of them vakaenda kuhondo. So they pay allegiance to ZANU-PF. They don't pay allegiance to the country. They don't look on the mirror. They don't look at themselves on the mirror and say, we are judges. We must practice justice. They are not there for justice. They are there for a political party. Because Justice Malava, Chief Justice Malava, is a business partner and a president when Nyika Zimbabwe announces Emerson Mnangagwa. So these people, they sit on the same bench, they talk business ravo, they make money together. Saka kana pane any case, you know that a favorable decision to ZANU-PF, Malava will be told to Malava, go into a bench rako, nyaya inofana result in the E. Imimene mnochaga ma faults. My mistakes and make the result look this way. So my judiciary in Zimbabwe is not an independent judiciary. It is a captured judiciary. It should be operating independently from the executive, but it doesn't do that. It works hand in hand with the executive. So as a result, we've got dubious judgments being handed down by the Supreme Court, dubious judgments being handed down by the magistrates, dubious decisions being handed down by the High Court. But the people of Zimbabwe, what they did was, let's expose them. Let's not vindicate them. No matter what they are going to say, because most of these cases, they will go into history books. Most of these cases will be used as precedents. ZANU-PF is not going to run Zimbabwe forever. And those same laws will be used against ZANU-PF. So people are saying they are good for precedents. Let's go to the court. The MDC made a resolution that no matter what judgments they are going to hand down, but we are going to go to court. We will continue to approach the courts to settle these issues. As a result, this is to expose our judiciary. One, this is to make sure that they put precedents. You've got something to say. You quote it as a precedence. Iowa Gorilla 2018, Justice Malaba wakati kana wakanga wewe usingazive kuti president weparty zvazvitwe wakazozvirealiza 2-3 years ago, you can still, or 2-3 years to come, you can still approach the courts and get this judgment. As long as that judgment stands, it's precedence. Supreme Court judgments are precedents. They work as precedents. They work as precedents. So we are not worried about what outcomes are coming from the courts, as long as those outcomes will be used tomorrow to say this is a precedent. This majaji 3 or 4 vakaitonga zvakati, saka it becomes a precedence. Kuti mangwana ZANU isazochema, because Supreme Court cannot contradict its judgment. Kana pakambopuwa judgment yakadaro na Supreme Court judge mumwe, you can't contradict that, but you have to cite it as precedence. So people do not really understand why MDC is approaching the courts with these cases. So let's continue to approach the courts. Vakwabikwa kamashavira pai judgment yakapuwa kwa High Court. People challenged that judgment. Ikaenda ku Supreme Court kwa Malava kanogara pasi. It was just a moot judgment. When they call it a moot judgment, like what like what I told people, when it becomes a moot judgment, it is a judgment which was handed down after judges perused submissions at the High Court. The submissions which were made by the defense and by the defendant and by the appellant at the High Court, those submissions are taken to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court aunopinda uchitongwa aiwa mapepa anopinda ikoko, saka vachiti moot judgment. So they sit down, the Supreme Court judges sit down in a record drag. When you're wearing our pets, on your wearing our pets, opa judgment, wozoverenga vese taona chiva kumana, ndaona zvakanda. Saka iwe, what's your judgment? Judgment yangu ndeye kuti zvakati kweiwe, ndeye kuti zvakati. Mobva pa ini ndati zvakati. Saka Supreme Court kuenda ngekunovhotwa futi. All right, 3 out of 2 judges vakati Vachamisa was wrongfully appointed as president of what? MDCT. So what it means now, everything that was done by President Chamisa in his capacity as MDCT president is null and void. This includes Mbate Papo. This includes even kana kusainira members of parliament, kana kuchuza senators vari musenata vese. It was nullified everything. Saka members of parliament atinawo nhasi, they were a result of Chamisa's decision. So their wins or victory was nullified by the court. The victories were nullified by the court because every decision that was made by Chamisa as president of MDCT was said to be null and void. Zvekuti vana commissioner nhasi hatizoti vari kutsvagei musenate. Vanhu vari muparliament today, we don't know what they are still doing in the parliament. Because by now, Mudenda should have removed all of them from parliament. Because you are here because of Chamisa. So Chamisa, all of the decisions that he made, they are null and void by the Supreme Court. So as a result, we are withdrawing all MDC members of parliament, and we are going to hold by elections. This could have been a fair assessment of the Supreme Court judgment. Right. What surprised me, ladies and gentlemen, is Morgan Komich was a respondent. Thokozani Kupe was a respondent. Nelson Chamisa was a respondent. Monzora was a respondent. These people were cited as respondents. That means kana uri respondent ndiwo uri kusuwiwa kana ndiwo uri kusungiswa uri kunzi come and defend yourself. Right. Wasungiswa iwewe waenda kunozvidefenda kuye wokundwa wodyiwa iwewe. Gilbert Zudanzi, welcome my brother, I'm well my brother. Wasungiswa iwewe waenda court nowe wasvika court iwewe court yo judgment iwewe against you. Is there any reason to celebrate? I have never seen a respondent celebrating defeat. Ndakatanga kuzviona panana Komich nana Monzora kuti they were defeated Supreme Court. Judgment against them. And these guys celebrated. Komich had a prepared statement that he read. Kuti statement iyo yakanga yanyorwa nguvai kuti judgment yakanga yauya yakanga akuiziva here, and he read that statement saying everything that was done by Nelson Chamisa is null and void. So what we are going to do, we are accepting the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment. And they went on to celebrate. And they said, Chamisa, you are no longer our president. Our president is Mbuya Thokozani-Kupe. Komich, Monzora, Mudzuri, and the other people went away. They went away. So they went away. They regrouped and said, we are MDC Tsvangirai. So what they did is they removed MDC Tsvangirai yaitungamirirwa naChamisa vakasiya iripo vakanopfoma MDC Tsvangirai yavakanga vakuti iyoyo let's regroup as MDC Tsvangirai. According to Supreme Court ruling is saying all the people who were elected around Zimbabwe muna 2014 vakaenda pacongress, those people must convene or come together as movement for democratic change that was led by President Tsvangirai, and you are now under the acting capacity of Thokozani-Kupe. So people had said, look, we can't go to 2014. We had already moved on. So why can't the Supreme Court accept what is there? Thokozani-Kupe formed their own part. Chamisa akakondinya ne-MDC Tsvangirai, akaenda akanoita president we-alliance, akapinda mu-election. The court should have accepted that zvakarohwa ne-time. It's time, you cannot rewind time. Saka zvakatorohwa ne-time, judgment payakapuwa zvaka zvatopfuura kudhara. Because judgment yakapoindwa kwaChamisa, it was done, challenge yacho was done in 2017, I think. Before Tsvangirai died or what? I don't understand it. But anyway, by 2020, zvese zvakanga zvarohwa ne-time. So this guy saw it fit kuti aiwa, kunyange zvarohwa ne-time. Ndakabvunza Gweta, ndakabvunza ndikati nhai Gweta, zvinombofamba sei? Gweta rakanditi panenge pachimhanya nyaya mumacourts, panenge pachiitika machallenges Magweta achikweshana paya, time inenge yakamira, inenge isingafambi time. Saka kana iri 2014 zvinenge zvichinzi 2014, kana mukasvika 2020 inonga ichiti 2014. Saka panozopuwa judgment ipo paya, vanenge vautaura ndo judgment patasvika apa tichiri muna 2014. Saka the Supreme Court ordered that dzokerai kuma-structures akaelectwa nevanhu, kwete structures zvekuapoindwa zvazvo, but vakaelectwa nevanhu, zvekuti vana ICT secretary zvana Pugeni zvazvo ma-appointments aya hasi zvekuelectwa. Saka Pugeni should not be seen around MDC Tsvangirai because he was not elected, but he was appointed. Zvakakufanira kuti vaTsvangirai vakaappointa vana Chamisa zvikanzi zviri null and void. So if appointment is null and void in the party, vamwe vese nezvemasecretarial portfolio zvezve, it's null and void because they were appointments. So what is required now is the elected people, my district chairperson, my provincial chairperson, my national chairperson, my secretary, organizing secretary, my treasurer, my GS information, those people who are elected by people. Supreme Court yakataura convene muri 2014 structure yavaTsvangirai and call for an extraordinary congress. These people must call for extraordinary Congress kuti vaite rectify zvavakatadza pana 2014 pana 2018, and that extraordinary Congress must be held within 3 months. We were given 30 days to do that. Vamwe vanhu we failed kuti hatingadzoserwa ku2014. Inini chaichai ndakaramba ndikati aiwa hatingadzoserwa ku2014. We have moved on navachamisa. Saka ava varida kuenda zveku2014 and ainoenda zveku2014 is to move on. This was my idea. Someone came to me, a friend in South Africa, akanditi Shepherd, panapa apa tiri kudhila neSupreme Court. We are dealing with the law. Law deals with the facts. So what is there are facts that no matter how we might need to move on, ignore the Supreme Court, but the judgment still stands. It remains there. So what is good for you guys is talk to Chamisa kana muchikwanisa kuti vachamisa handei extraordinary Congress yake. Kana vanhu vachikudai vachamisa vachakuvhoterai. Kana vanhu vasingakudai havavhoterei. Kana muchinge madyiwa vachamisa, that's it. Mutozomirira imwe Congress because munenge muripo is just extraordinary Congress to choose leader achaleader MDC kubva pakafa vanhu vatsvangirai. Saka ma decisions ese anenge akuya matana leader anenge aselect. Inini saka adaro friend yangu handina kuona sense of it. Ndikazviramba ndikati aiwa hasta move on. But takazogara pasi ndobva taona kuti not Chamisa. I've never spoken to President Chamisa about what I'm talking about. But as MDC people, we are veterans in the part. I'm not just until I join MDC, like a former MDC. So I'm a veteran in the part. Pakutaura mama veterans MDC. Takashika by extend a good, but guys, this Supreme Court thing is a barrier in our political dispensation. Why can't we go for extraordinary Congress? I voted Rwanda president. Iye to manya na iye. Kusvika taenda kune imwe Congress, kwatichazotsvaga president chaiye ne Congress. Hakuna executive ye MDC inoita 7 years. Executive constitution ye MDC inoita every 5 years munofana kuita an election, a Congress, elect a new executive. Saka whoever is going to be elected by extraordinary Congress, achingoelectwa iye akufana kuannounce madate a full Congress. Extraordinary Congress is to replace Tsvangirai so that we can make decisions. When we make decisions, then a full Congress must be prepared. So it is this year, haifani kupera tisina a full Congress. Saka tikutaura isusu ndobva pataka torai saka nyaya yapo toita sei. Problem yakanga yapo yayekuti Douglas Monzora acelebrate defeat yake. Akabva ati ndinda Secretary General, of which he is the Secretary General. It's a fact. He was elected Secretary General of the party. Right? Adaro Monzora. Munhu akufanirwa manje ku-administrator party. He is the administrator of the party. So if you are administrator of the party, ndoringo akuona kuti ma-party business ukufamba zvakanaka here, administrator. Paudiwa faira rezvakati ndori kumhanya naro, paudiwa zvemutemo umhanya nazvo, paudiwa zvakati uchimhanya nazvo. Haufaniri kuita kuti iwewe uri Secretary General of the party, wakuita basa rachairman, wakuita basa rainformation, wakuita basa ratreasure, wakuita mabasa ese haasi mabasa ako iwayo. Mu-MDC mune ma-portfolios. Mu-MDC mune ma-executive members who were elected, ma-chairman. Unfortunately, chairman wedu Baba Love Momoyo vakaresign. Obeti Guta akati handichinei zvekuita nepolitics. Saka Moyo ndiye akanga ari chairman weMDC. Saka kubvapo kwati Moyo kuresigna kwakaita kwakabva kwaita kuti Komich abva aita Morgan Komich abva aita chairman. Is no longer a deputy, chairman. Saka place ya Morgan Komich is vacant. Notoda munhu anoifila. And we can feel it by extraordinary Congress. Right? Nzvimbo yakasiwa na Obet Gutu automatically Tabitha Khumalo becomes the spokesperson of the party. Vana Charles Wende varipo, vana Bebe organizing secretary varipo, vana Chibaya deputy acho aripo. Saka vanhu vasipo chete pa National Standing Committee edu pane vanhu vatatu vasipo. Vatsvangirai vakashaya, Valav Momoyo vakaresigna, koza Obert Gutu akasiya kana achadi zvepolitics. But the rest varipo. Saka ndopatiri kuona isusu se vana veMDC sezvakataurwa neyouth inova vanguard yeparty yakati ikati alright takapiwa 90 days neconstitutional court. What preparations have we made for the extraordinary congress? Tikada kutarisa apa hapana mapreparations akaitwa, right? Instead of preparing for an extraordinary congress, vanhu vacho vari mumapositions ekuti vaite izvo vakagara pasi ipapo vakupopotedzana vakubvisa mamwe vanhu maofficials akaelektwa kunzi wewo takudzinga kupati, vana Chamisa vakunzi takudzinga kupati, members of parliament who were elected vachinzi ndiyo MDC alliance, muri alliance mimi hamusi Tsvangirai. Saka ibudai because positions amakaoccupy neMDCT haasi alliance. But mukaenda imimi kuzek hakuna MDCT iriko yaitungamirirwa navachamisa. Kune MDC alliance ndo yaitungamirirwa navachamisa. Mukanona MDCT iri kuzek yaitungamirirwa iyo naThokozani Kupe. Saka haana kodzero yekudzinga vanhu ava vaari kudzinga. Because vanhu vari kudzingwa vanofanira kudzingwa nealliance. Ukatoenda paballot paper pakatonzi MDC alliance, ukaenda kuparliament vakatopinda tiketi vakabata vachipinda rakanzi MDC alliance. So it's wrong for MDC Tsvangirai kudzinga mamembers eMDC alliance. Saka mutemo uri kushandiswa ipapa hausi mutemo weconstitution yenyika yeZimbabwe. Pari kushandiswa chikarabwino. Pachichewa vanoti chikarabwino unoziva ani kuti ugare zvakanaka. Saka ndozviri kushandiswa and it's illegal. Nhasi kutaura kwandiri kwadzingwa 10 members of parliament. All in all, I think kwadzingwa 20 or 30 members of parliament eMDC alliance. Zvakuita kuti ZANU-PF ita kuti akuenda kuma-by elections ekuti contest futi those same positions. Saka youth iri kuti yeMDC varume tikuti kuonai zvamuri kuita hamusiri vanhu vane chido nemusangano, maakuda kuita mapolitical fights enyu muchirovana, musangano uchisafa. Kana musangano weMDC wasafa, chiri kusafa ndisu vanhu, hamusi imi muri kusafa, because imimi you are enjoying yourselves, but chakusafa vanhu veZimbabwe, mayouth eMDC. Ukaona vanhu vataura zvandirwadza, ndakachema nezuro when I was talking to Gorekore. Akanditi mukoma kubva MDC ichifomwa tiri mayouth taingomhanya nayo MDC tichivhotera vamwe vanhu vachipinda mumaparliament. Kutaura kwandiri kuita mukoma Yuda, tine vanhu vane 25 years vari muparliament. MDC ane 22 years, 21 years yafomewa. This is a 5th term yekuti akusvika 25 years munhu ari member of parliament. Hanzi MPA haakutengereka na sweet, haana chaanokutekana chaanokupa kana 1. We don't benefit anything from politics, but vanhu vatakaelecta kuti vaite members of parliament ndo vanhu vakabenefit. For the past 5 terms ze parliament mwe munhu ane 5 matwin cab, vane mota dzakamanisana board motokari dzese dzakauya kuparliament vanadzo. Hapana kana panotirega nditengese 1 motikari ndibatsire constituency kana youth ite project yakati youth yangu iitewo zvakati. Hapana. 1 member of parliament weMDC anonzi Job Scala ndiye akati pa2000 paya parliament achipuwa motikari yake yeconstituency akaitengesa, akatora mari yacho akanovaka musika kuti mamai vatengesere ipapo. Ndosaka muchiona Hwiwa achiti akapinda kuconstituency kwake anoitwa mwari. President Nelson Chamisa is the second member of parliament akakwanisa kutsvaga mari yekuvaka library. Mamwe maparliamentarians ese angatiendei kuma-constitutions kwakwana mashakada kune chii chavakaitira vanhu? Hakuna. Vanhu vari ku-constitutions kwana machakada vanongochema, but ndiye munhu acho akutaura kuti arikuda kupanduka, akuda third term. Inzwai ndikutaurirei vakomana, inzwai ndikutaurirei. Kana uchipinda basa kuhurumende unosaina contract kupolice ye20 years, kuarmy 20 years, prison yakupa 25 years. Saka vanhu ava vanhu vatoshanda muhurumende vakutokwanisa mapension kavo 25 years uri muparliament is not a joke, of which it's not normal. It's not normal kuti munhu anda 25 years muparliament, munhu ari kuelectwa. Munhu ngaitewo 2 terms dzake obva, popinda muparliamentarian obva, popinda kuitira kuti vanhu vese tichikwanisa kuwana variety ideas, different ideas. Kunze kwokutoti you are an outstanding member of parliament yokuti haifambe parliament kana usipo. So as a result, youth MDC isina basa nekuti uyu ndiani, uyo ndiani, uyo ndiani. Yakagara pasi youth ikareflect, yakada kuona kuti alright, what are we benefiting as youth? Now the part iri kudestroy watakatarisa. There are squabbles, people doing kubvisa knuckle dust, vachiita political fights avo at the expense of the people of Zimbabwe. Saka vakataura vakati isusu we have taken over Harvest House. Kuti vanhu zvakataurwa neSupreme Court zvekunzi tiende ku-extraordinary Congress, we are demanding that extraordinary Congress be held now. Decisions ari kuitwa ekudzinga members of parliament, councillors akaelectwa nevanhu vachinzi MDC, kuda kuoresa moyo wemasupporters eMDC vanovhota kuti next time wanda hatovhotera MDC, one zvainoita inodzinga vanhu muparliament vatete takavhotera togara tisina member of parliament, so that people are driven away from voting MDC nana Douglas Monzora. So the move that Monzora, Kupe, Komich and Kamban are doing now of recalling members of parliament, it's a move to destroy the MDC support base. So if MDC support base is destroyed, no one is going to vote MDC. They are recalled. Saka hapana chatiri kuvavhotera. These people are useless. Ndo mweya uri kuiswa na Douglas Monzora in the electorate. As a result, vanhu vachaora moyo, vanhu vacharamba kuvhotera MDC. Kana vanhu vaora moyo, varamba kuvhotera MDC, zvakureva kuti party inonzi MDC yafa, hakusisina. Ndo zvakurambwa neyouth. Youth yati aiwa, isusu hatizorega MDC ichifa nenyaya yekuti Monzora ari kuda kuita ari kunetsana nevanhu. Ukazwa Monzora achitaura anongoti ndichamisa. Ukazwa Pugeni achitaura kuti ndichamisa. Who is Pugeni muMDC? Tikatarisa pama-elected 2014 structure, Pugeni is not the spokesperson of the party. When he is speaking, who is he speaking on behalf of? Saka, as a result, ladies and gentlemen, the youth in MDC have decided kuti aiwa ava vanhu ava ngavauye kuHarvest House tigare pasi se2014 musangano weMDC une maorgans unogarwa pasi, kune maprotocols anofollowewa, madecisions haaitwe nemunhu one. Madecisions ari kuitwa naMonzora ari one nemukadzi wake kumba kwake, nemapete, nemakonzo, nenhunzi, nemwana wake. Oya oimplementwa kupati. Saka varikuti Monzora is not the CEO weMDC. Monzora haasi owner weMDC. Monzora munhu akatoelectwawo just like a chairman, a treasurer and anybody else. Saka mapowers aari kuzvipa ekuti akurecola members of parliament vanenge vaita madecisions vanoitwa nani, because madecisions anofanira kuitwa neparty. Most of these decisions they require Congress. Nosaka muri kuona zhowe yamuri kuona nhasi yekuti youth yati enough is enough. So what they are saying youth is enough is enough. Saka iwewe Shepherd Yuda, iwewe sa Shepherd Yuda, iwewe sani supporter eMDC, ndisu ma supporters eparty, ndisu ma card holders eparty yokuti kana kupati ukanzi kudwa anything ndisu no contributor mari. Saka tiri kutaura kuti zvaitwa neyouth yeMDC let's all rally behind youth MDC. Ngativasapotei vana gore kore. Vafana vanaomberai. Ngativasapotei vafana. Katinge tavasapota izvozvizvi kutaura kwandiri kuita vari muharvest house. They've been there for 3 days now. Kuseni vafana vanoda kunwa tea. Masikati vanoda kudyawo. Manheru vanoda kudya. Vafana vanoda mvura yekunwa. Tovatsvagirawo kana macool drinks yekunwa. Ndosakamona ndakaapila nezuro. Kuti guys, let's contribute. Ane 5 pounds, ane 2 pounds, ane $1, ane sendi chairo ngatisanganisei. Tikwanise kutsvagira vafana ava something to eat or something to drink. Chandishamisa guys, ndikada kukuudzai. Ndine list panapa revanhu. I'm not going to show you my names evanhu vabvisa mari, but I'm going just to show you kuti pane vanhu vabvisa mari dzavo idzi. Pane vanhu vabvisa mari dzavo idzi. Mari dzamuri kuona idzi dzavachinyora panapa. Vanhu vabvisa vanokwana 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 including myself 9. Vanhu vabvisa mari yekukumbira kwandakaita. Yabva vanhu 9 chete. 9. Nezuro ndakakumbira ruzhinji rweZimbabwe takawanda guys. Panapa vari kuwatcha this video about 55 people. But out of 55 people, tine 9 people who have contributed to this. Saka ndichiri kungokumbira kuti vane moyo munyoro izvo hazvisi kumanikidza munhu izvi. Munhu amanikidzwa kunzi bvisa mari asingadi. Vane moyo munyoro varikuda tibatsire vafana vari kuharvest house. Burn down harvest house. Saka manza ndikutaura hazvizopera zvakanaka. We don't want violence. Our enemy is ZANU-PF. These are people who are being divided by Monzora to fight each other. Vana vatsvangirai vakurusaniswa naMonzora. Monzora is nothing. He just came to MDC yesterday. I'm too senior in MDC politics than Monzora. Manzwa nyaya ndiri kutaura. So the issue iri panapa ndeyekuti let's rally behind our youth. We need a unified MDC. And saka naiwa yamashoko, I think it's an hour now. It's very unfortunate that I can't see your comments, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first time to use this YouTube. Saka, what I'm doing, I'm ending now. Tozoita sei mangwana, then we continue tomorrow. And it manzwa. So good night, vari panapa. Good night. Antombozive kuti how do I cut it? Create a post. Unified. So we need a unified MDC. Is a unified MDC is possible. And it manzwa. So this is what we want to do. A uniformed MDC is possible. Saka naiwaya chirega ndikusira live. Saka ndoyatada kupedza live yacho. I don't know how to end this. I'm trying. Learn more. I don't know how to end this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to end this live. Why are you guys repeating this? Angasi popota tangasaga maoves akataura the same. I don't know, someone commenting. So that's the issue. Ladies and gentlemen, are you sure you